Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This video is the first of our Perfect Trio series where we will focus on choosing the 3 colors that we will need for our trio. Our goal is to create a unique and fully versatile trio with an extended range of mixable colors. In this video we're going to swatch out different color choices before selecting our 3 primaries. I wanted to say that I completely understand that not everyone is going to have a range of colors in their collection to choose from, and part of what I wanted to provide in this video is what to look for when you're purchasing your first 3 tubes of watercolor or to create your own perfect trio. If you would like to know what my favorite Perfect Trio recommendations are by brand, please check the description box down below where they will all be linked, as well as any other materials that I will be using throughout this series. Right before we get into the swatches in this video, I do have a very brief announcement, and I wanted to remind you that this is a completely free masterclass, all of which will be available on YouTube. However, if you would like to support the creation of these free masterclasses or my channel, I do have a new Patreon page where you can do so. I won't get into the perks here, as this is not what the video is about, but if you are interested, I would love it if you would check it out. Now as we get into our swatches to find our perfect magenta color, we start off with a PV19, which is my favorite pigment for a magenta. However, like with many pigments, not all of them are the same, so I wouldn't choose a PV19 blindly. This one is a beautiful pink, leaning a bit warm, but with a beautiful range. This next color is a beautiful reddish rose leaning to the cool side, and it is a little bit closer to a primary red than we wanted for our trio. It does have a very good dynamic range, and with midtones being a little bit pinky, but it's still not the best choice. This color, you can tell right away, is too warm. It would be a really good primary red or for use in a split primary palette. However, we are creating a trio, and we will be able to create this color later on by mixing. This color is slightly cooler and not as fire engine red as the last, but it's still too warm and too close to a primary red for our trio. As we swatch this color, it's apparent that it's way too purple and it would seriously limit our color mixing ability within this trio. However, it's also important to note that it has 2 pigments, one of which is a granulating PB29, which would also have a negative impact on our trio. This is a really good example of varying hues within pigments. This is also a PV19, but it's much more purple than our first swatch, limiting the colors that we could get out of it from mixing later on, making it a poor choice for this trio. We're starting to get closer to pink now, and as you can see, this is still quite a cool color. The camera does not do a very good job at capturing it, but I will include a scan for you to see the color more accurately. This is a beautiful dynamic color and it still leans pretty cool. It's definitely a workable color, but it will affect your ability to get a super vibrant primary red and a nice bright orange. As we work our way back to warmer magenta colors, this one is a very good candidate, but still slightly warm. If you have a color like this in your collection, I wouldn't buy another, and I do feature this color and brand later on in the series. However, the next color is our winner. This color is so beautiful and with a very good range, it's nearly perfect for what I'm looking for. It sits almost perfectly between warm and cool and is a single pigment transparent quinacridone color. Now as we get started swatching our yellows, we can see that as the name would suggest, this one is a very orangey yellow and is far too warm for what we're looking for. Next we have a yellow that is still quite warm and would cause us to have very similar problems to the previous color. Swatching this color, you would think that we would have a pretty good choice for our trio, but once you stop to look at the pigment makeup, you realize that this is a 3-pigment opaque color that will cause a lot of issues in our mixes. We'll look into this further in a later video. This color is very similar to the one above, but with only 1 pigment and less opaque. Not a bad choice, but lacking the color range I'm looking for. This is a very standard choice for a trio palette and works extremely well. I'm using this color throughout the series, but my focus is to build a unique and fully versatile trio with an extended range of mixable colors. This next color is made with a beautiful transparent yellow pigment. I love this color's transparency and dynamic range, however has a slightly cool undertone that would affect our mixes. This color is of course known for being more opaque in most brands and is not an ideal choice. It's far too warm and getting close to our brown pigments, however I did want to include it in our swatches for those who are unfamiliar with this color to show its range. This is an unusual pick for a trio, but one that I love. This color is both very transparent, which many yellows struggle with, but also has a very deep mass tone nearing orange. Then once diluted, can be nearly neutral, giving it an exceptional color range when mixing. This color is my favorite dynamic pick for our trio. Lastly, this color lies in the middle of our lemon yellow and new gamboge. It has a bit more of a dynamic range than the lemon yellow, but it has a more common value than the new gamboge. This color is my favorite standard pick for a trio. Finally, we get into our blues. This is a beautiful color and is surprisingly close to a traditional cyan color that we would normally think of. However, there are a few reasons why this is not quite the right color for us. There are 3 pigments in this color, a blue, a yellow, and a white. 2 of the pigments are opaque, and the white would really throw off all of our mixes. Also, we want something that will give us a greater range of colors when mixing, and this would be very limiting. Next, we have another beautiful color, and it would give us a near cyan color once diluted. However, it is a warm blue leaning green, which makes sense with its included green pigment. It would not work well for our mixes. This is a phthalo blue and will be a common theme as we look at our blue for this trio. Like our PV19 pigment, not all PV15s are created the same, and it will take some swatching to find our perfect fit. This one has a near cyan color once diluted and is an excellent choice for a trio. However, I think that we can do a little bit better. This color is a bit too dark and too warm for our trio. Next is a beautiful phthalo blue. It's a red shade, but it does seem to be a little bit more neutral than some and is not exceptionally warm. Next, we have a bit of an unusual color, and we're sticking with our phthalo theme that we have, but this color is a green shade, but also includes a granulating ultramarine pigment. This color is stunning with an exceptional range and is near perfect. However, I'm staying away from granulating colors in our trio to achieve consistent mixes. This color is a bit lighter than the others, not giving us the range that we're looking for. It's also not quite the right hue that we're going for. This color was never going to be an option, but I wanted to include it in the swatches. It's far too warm and the granulation doesn't make it a good candidate for our mixes. Finally, our last color, and another phthalo. As you can see, each of these have been slightly different based on the pigment and the company. This one is also a warmer shade, but is slightly warmer than the one that we've swatched earlier. Both have the range we are looking for, and both would be a great choice for a trio. I would, however, give a slight edge to the one above, as it is more neutral and would be a better mixing color. In the next Perfect Trio Masterclass video, we will be covering color mixing and learning how to get the most out of our color selections. We will take an in-depth look at the different values our colors can create and why choosing a dynamic, transparent color palette can create almost any color that you need. We will also go over how to create beautiful, bright, primary mixes all the way to deep, moody colors and everything in between. As a quick reminder, for those of you who would like to support my channel in this masterclass series, I will have my Patreon page linked in the description box down below. This is, of course, for those of you who would like to support this channel and are financially able to do so. If you liked this video and found it helpful, I would love it if you would give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments below. And feel free to share this video with anyone who might find it useful, as it also really helps my channel. That is all for this video, and I will see you soon with our color mixing class. Bye!